Bienvenidos a nuestro canal de Supersonido. Yo soy Luis y hoy tengo invitado muy especial, Livio Cucuzza, el Chief Design Officer de Bose Luxury, que previamente por mucho tiempo ha sido diseñador oficial también de Sonus Faber y nos está visitando aquí en Barcelona. Ella es casi como de la casa, así que welcome. How you doing, man?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Well, nice to see you and the speakers that arrived a couple of weeks before. Very surprising because it's not what we usually expect from Sonus Faber. Very different from, from the sound signature, I would say. The finish is the first thing that caught your eye.
Sure.
So yeah, I just want to know how we got here, how we got to Amati Supreme.
So some time happened. Oh, first of all, thank you for having me here. Some time happened that in the design lab down in Vicenza, we do experiments. And some of those experiments are disasters. Some of them are actually incredible, are offering incredible results. And this is one of the examples of the incredible results. So we were basically talking between designers and engineers to how to use the amazing technology of Suprema. And so some of the engineers proposed to me to do a prototype using exactly the same drivers of Suprema in a smaller cabinet. So the cabinet we had available was an Amati cabinet, and so we did the experiment on the Amati.
So that's how it started.
That's how it started. And we did some listening test, and we were like, oh, that's something special. Sometimes the drivers, the technology, the crossover goes so well together that it's what happened is real magic. And so we decided to create a product out of that.
Okay, so it wasn't thought like we're gonna do a new version of the Amati, that's not the idea.
No.
It was the cabinet that was available at the time.
Yes.
You put all the Suprema components inside, and this is what resulted.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
so
did you have to obviously tweak it for that cabinet in particular?
we had to do basically everything from scratch. Mm-hmm. Apart from the bass driver, everything is new in this speaker. When you use different drivers on a different cabinets, the crossover has to be completely redone. So in this case, we decided to use the components of the Suprema speakers. So also the crossover design is coming from that experience. Plus, we tried to evolve that concept because now we are using a very special filtering between the three-way on the top of the speaker, which is an evolution of what we did with Suprema. So it's
because the typology of this speaker is not a three-way, it's a
four-way and a half.
Four-way and a half. What do you mean with the half?
The half meaning that the two woofers are not using the same crossover, so they are not in parallel. Which normally what happens when you have two woofers in parallel is that you have a shift in the image because you have two sources quite distant between them. So we used a different crossover for the tube woofer in order to align the phase between them, and also the lower woofer is not going high to meet the mid-range, so the male voice will stay concentrated in the upper part of the speaker, so you don't have this shifting image effect that some speakers have.
Was that something that you've used in a previous?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The standard Amati is using a simplified version of that theory as well. The Stradivari is using that as well. So we always prefer to cut the tube woofer in different way.
Okay. And last time, well, a few months ago, when you guys received us there in the factory, we saw that there was a lot of new things being applied when it comes to the cabinet within it. We see some resonance boxes. We see the use of different materials.
Yes.
I bet that's the same for Amati Supreme. So could you explain us what you've done with the cabinet?
Yeah. In the last years when we did the development for Suprema, one of our goals was to create not only the technology regarding drivers and crossovers and whatever, but also the focus was on finding solution inside the cabinet to use that energy that you have inside the cabinet and don't destroy it with foam or absorbers. So we had several solutions to do that. One solution that we found really interesting, and now we are using basically in every product we do, is the cork, cork material. So
which you'll get to see in a bit.
Sure. Yes, the cork, especially in the mid-range chamber of this speaker, is making a huge difference because we are not using any foam or absorbing material inside, because the structure of the back wall of the speaker, which is recycled cork, and it's designed to kill the resonances inside the enclosure without destroying the energy.
But what's the benefit of if in the end you're just trying to get rid of that energy instead of absorbing it, and versus dispersing it with the cork? What's the practical difference on that?
The practical difference is I can give you an example with light. If you have a point source light reflecting on a wall or on a mirror in a specific point, that reflecting light will go directly to your eyes and will disturb you. But if I put a diffuser, that point light will be diffused and you cannot see the point anymore. And the sound is basically the same. Instead of, so if you have a flat surface on the back of an enclosure, you will have direct reflection in the cone, which is a paper cone, so it will be transparent, and so you will hear some distortion. With this technology that we are using with the cork, we are basically dispersing the energy. Dispersing the energy in a non let me say linear pattern.
Okay, so Livio, I want to talk now about the finishes, both the color and the material is the first thing that catches your eye when it came to the store. So is there many finishes, just this one?
Yeah, for the moment we are offering the product in two finishes. One is Sabbia Oro, which is a kind of gold, and this beautiful red that we call Terra Rossa. And the reason why we decided to do these finishes is also to underline how this product is special, how much this product is special. So this is something that Sonus Faber never did before, a finish like that. So we wanted to pay homage to this idea of product burn in a laboratory, basically.
Nice. And what's the material that you guys use?
It's wood. It's our classic wood. It's just a painting effect that we are giving to the wood.
Oh, it's beautiful. Are you planning to maybe have more colors, or shouldn't we say anything?
Yes. No. The plan is that the classic wood from Sonus Faber will be available from next year.
To finish this question, would we see this kind of stuff in other ranges of Sonus Faber at some point? Is that a possibility?
You mean the technology or the color?
Well, more than technology, the finishes, yeah, because it's very different from what we're accustomed to.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, we are for sure planning to do many other experiments in terms of finishing in the next year to make the Sonus Faber brand a little bit more modern. But we need still to collect data regarding the success of this
Take your time.
Exactly.
Take your time. I mean, it was a great job, so take your time. There's no rush. And position of the speakers, which is one of the questions that we get the most in the store. People are worried because of the room size, where the speakers will be placed. What can you say about the Amati that can help them?
Yeah, this is something that we are taking care in the last year a lot. We did a compensation system for the bass in the Stradivari. Also the Supreme, of course, has the possibility to be tuned because we are really fanatic about our curve response, our classic Sonus Faber response, and we know that any customer has a different room, so to respect that that original thought about the curve of Sonus Faber, we thought that maybe there must be a possibility for the customer to adjust some parameters of the speaker. So for example, on the Amati Supreme, we have two jumpers on the back, which are not really interacting with the filter, but how the filter interacts with the drivers. And from that jumpers, you can adjust basically the mid-high pressure, but also the mid-bass portion of the frequency response, which in many of the rooms is the real problem. So the mid-bass, especially if you have a corner right behind the speakers, or if you have a very absorbing room in the mid-high, the mid-bass can be too much. And it's very delicate point because it really changed the perception of a system. You can have gigantic male voices if the mid-bass is enhanced. So you have in this particular speaker the possibility to tune it a little bit to obtain the perfect response.
Okay, and is that user-friendly, or should someone from Sonus Faber go to the customer?
It's very user-friendly. You have two little jumpers, and there is an explanation on the user manual. Then everything is about your tastes, right? If you like that big, warm sound, you can still use some of the enhancement from the room. If you are more in the resolution and perfect tonality, maybe you need to adjust it.
Okay.
So it's about the customer.
Yeah, it's a matter of personal preference, like many of these things.
Yes.
And any other, I mean, I see the grill. Does it carry the same as the Homage series with the strands, classics? Yeah,
yes.
That's kind of the Sonus Faber touch.
Yes.
I'd like, if you don't mind, to talk a bit more about the driver,
Sure.
which is, I mean, the first time I saw it was with the Sonetto G2. That I saw it applied. That's where I saw also the different things within the cabinet. But let's explore a little bit more and see what it's about. Okay?
Perfect.
Yeah, let's go. So now we are in front of the real voice of Sonus Faber, or that's at least how this unit driver is called. And Livio is going to run us through the technology in it, how we got to this design, and what are the benefits of it on the speakers.
Sure. So as I said to you, this speaker was a kind of experiment. And together with the experiment itself, we wanted to experiment also to test with our customer sort of different direction in terms of sound we are taking in the last years. Sonus Faber was always famous for the natural sound and this non-fatiguing kind of sound, which is still there. It's really, really important for us. But we are trying to elevate the level of resolution, the level of speed and dynamics in our speakers. And for those who had the pleasure to listen to the Suprema, they immediately recognized that there was something really different in the speed, in the attack, which is true also for some of our new lines like Sonetto. It's really a different kind of sound signature from the past. Here what we are using is exactly the same driver of Suprema. So we are not using a trickle down of the mid-range, same membrane, whatever. No, we are using exactly those drivers. And this is the reason why the product is so expensive.
At a higher price point.
Yes. The technology behind this group of driver is pretty unique. So the mid-range, what we call Camellia mid-range, is the first of its kind. It's a dual drive system, which means that you have two coils inside the same magnet system instead of one coil. So the assembly of this driver is very delicate because you have to create the perfect distance, the perfect balance between the two coils. But what it does in terms of sound is the speed and resolution and control is really on a different level. Then we have the combination that we are using on Suprema for the tweeters. So instead of having just one dome, we have two domes. And the reason why we are doing this is because Suprema, in the original idea, Suprema had to have a frequency response from 15 Hz to 40 kilohertz. So there was no way to use just one dome to go so high, especially because we use soft dome. We believe in soft dome because they are more natural, there are no artifacts, no ringing. So we had to split the tweeter in two. So we have a super tweeter and we have a mid-tweeter, which is doing the bridge between the two drivers. Both are neodymium driver, very high level drivers, the best that Sonus Faber right now developed in his history. And plus everything is loaded with the cork that we talked about.
That we were talking about before. This is just on this section of the speaker, or can you find it on the rest of the cabinet?
No, the cork right now is used only on the mid-range.
Only on the mid-range. Yeah. You don't feel that there's a need for...
We are now developing some different mix of cork and resin to understand if the cork will be able also to work with bass frequency, but right now most of the benefits are in the mid-high section because the cork is really damping those frequency and because of its composition.
Right. And where is it? I didn't get to see where is the bass reflex on the speakers.
It's on the back.
It's on the back,
yes.
Just like the Olympia, right? It's
yes,
kind of system.
It's the same reflex port of the classic Amati. We didn't change that.
Yes, that's good. The other visual aspect of a speaker that is really impressive when you see, apart from the color and the finish, is the crossover on the top. On the top plate of the speakers, we can see, I mean, it's actually transparent. You can see the crossover. And I was curious because initially, I mean, normally, we find the filters at the bottom of the speaker. And what's the reason that it's at the top? Is this the only crossover on the speaker?
Oh, first of all, I think it was the first one was the Maxima Amateur, which is part of the Heritage series. We developed a new technology in that case for the filtering of a two-way design speaker. And so we wanted to show to our customer that the technology was so special. So we decided to create a window on the back of the speaker, and that was really appreciated by our customer. Think about the engine of on the back of a Ferrari, right? Is a mechanical part, but if it's well engineered, can be a piece of art.
That's where a lot of the attention to detail goes to in the making of a speaker, isn't it?
Absolutely. As you saw during the visit, we are assembling all our crossover in-house by hand, and those guys love what they do, and we wanted to glorify that love, showing to the world what is inside the speaker. We are not hiding anything. And in this case in particular, since, as I told you before, the technology of the crossover is coming from Suprema, we wanted to, again, underline how beautiful and how elevated in performance is that piece of electronics. So we put the crossover of the mid-high section on the top of the speaker with a nice Y-shaped window, which shows the most important crossover parts. So the crossover is a little bit bigger than the window, but you have a sort of spot on the most.
I mean, what you see is enough just to be like, wow, that's nice.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we are pretty proud of what we are developing in terms of technology for Sonus Faber, especially in the last 5 years, that we want really to show that to our customer.
And is there a second filter for the bass, maybe we were discussing earlier?
Yes, as we said before, the two bass drivers are filtered in different ways, and so for this reason there are other two crossovers inside the speakers that are dealing with the bass drivers.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a lot of crossovers inside the speakers. Well, that helps with the performance, isn't it? Like having it separate for each speaker.
Absolutely, it's helping with the performance, but also since in this particular project we are using very high-grade components, normally when you go higher in quality, they get bigger. So we had to basically split the boards in multiple boards to secure the right spacing between the components. Also to pass the several tests that we do on the speakers before we go in production. So heating test and temperature test and all these kind of difficult tests has to pass. So we need the right spacing, the right engineering around the crossover.
I mean, it's very impressive, the speakers, from the time you see it, and when you hear it, much better, although when I heard it, it wasn't properly configured by you. So I'm really curious to listen to it now in this room that we have here. I'm going to switch to Spanish now. Recuerden que, bueno, tenemos los Amati aquí en la tienda de Barcelona. Estamos, bueno, Super Sonido. Siempre pueden venir a nuestras tiendas a escuchar tanto esta como el resto de las series de Sonus Faber. Contáctenos, organicen una audición y aquí con gusto les atenderemos. Yo me voy a poner una pieza guapa. Bueno, primero voy a escuchar a ver qué tiene Livio para ofrecer y luego me pongo una yo y a escuchar los Amati y su prima aquí. Pues muchas gracias por mirar el canal. Yo me voy a escuchar algo de música. Chao, chao.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.